The first question, talking about President Trump and the US in Africa. So Trump's tariffs have effectively dismantled AGOA, which provided duty-free access to for many African countries to export to the US. Scrapped so much of the aid program, which affected Africa and the HIV programs and so forth. Do you think President Trump cares about Africa, and does it matter if he doesn't care?
Thank you. Very good afternoon to you all. I would not say that President Trump or America does not care about Africa. I would say that at the moment there is a sweeping sort of approach to tariffs, which perhaps puts certain countries in a position where they ought not to be. So in the case of Africa, so if you take Nigeria, for instance, there is interdependence, of course, but the harm comes when there is an overdependence of one party to another. In the case of Nigeria, the tariffs imposed by the U.S. Do not necessarily harm Nigeria to the extent that they may others. One, because we are a very large country, like you said in your introduction, a country of 230 million people. So we have a huge internal market, and we've got not only size, but we've got scale. So the ability to scale up allows us to be to prove ourselves, to insulate ourselves from some of the possible fallout of these tariffs. And that also means we have a larger talent pool than smaller countries. So we can absorb that, and we can, of course, trade with other countries, which is what the Tinubu administration is trying to emphasize: strategic autonomy. We have the right and the basis to engage with as many countries as possible to trade. And our relationships are not based on ideological considerations. They're based on interests, beginning with our national interests. So we trade with the US, we trade with China, we trade with Brazil, we trade with India, and our focus is not necessarily on one axis or the other, or especially in a multipolar world.
You talk about strategic autonomy, but as we know, under President Trump has a very transactional approach to doing business with people, even to diplomacy. Do you think strategic autonomy, a sort of non-aligned approach, really works? Don't you need to sort of engage directly with him? And if so, how do you think Africa and Nigeria need to engage with President Trump?
We've got critical minerals, we've got rare earths, and we're looking for partners to develop such resources and capacity. And at the same time, also, we're a gas-rich country. We have 210 trillion cubic feet of gas, not to talk of the oil. So we are a gas zone with a bit of oil in it, and we consider gas a transition fuel for not just Nigeria, but several other African countries. And what we are focusing on also is integrating our markets. First and foremost, regional economic community, which is ECOWAS, and then also the continent as a whole, the African Continental Free Trade Area. And it's important in approaching Africa for the global north and for the developed countries not to take a Minecraft approach. Sometimes, it's like the game Minecraft. There's oil, there's gas, there's, the critical minerals, rare earths. We put a bit of this, we invest this. No, that's not the way it goes. The engagement should be based on mutual respect. It should be based on shared interests and based on the fact that Africa needs to develop. If it doesn't develop, then we continue to deal with irregular migration, with all these other challenges. There's no country that is autarkic, that can survive alone. So it's in the best interest of all the countries that we work together to develop together.
So before we look a bit more at the economy and economic development, I mean, the US has been putting pressure, you've talked about it yourself, for Africa to take deportees from the United States. And I think you've resisted. But Ghana, for example, has taken some, and it's actually got better visa access for its citizens to the United States. It's got sort of multi-year, multi-entry visas, I think, for Nigerians. It's very difficult to get those visas. It's much shorter. Is it time for Nigeria to engage on that? Are you engaging with the United States on that? Do you feel pressure to take deportees from the US?
I think that ship has sailed. We made our point, and I believe it's been it's no longer on the discussion table. We continue to enjoy a good relationship with the United States. We do not see the need to take in other nationals under duress from any country, because we already have a population, like I said, of 230 million people. So we're not short of people. Our focus is, as we move closer to becoming 400 million, which we will be in the next 25 years, to train our workforce, to tackle the issue of poverty, of unemployment, so that we have the right dependency ratio that will be able to sustain us as we move into the future. So there are lots of opportunities. We can partner with all comers to tackle our challenges, as well as to provide the opportunities for those that are working with us.
It's a really striking figure, and as one gets older, you realize 25 years is a much shorter time than you originally might imagine. But how will you create the jobs for all these people coming into the market when you've got a nation of 400 million people? It's a huge number of jobs you have to create. It's a really vigorous economy you need to build. What steps are you going to take, what reforms are you going to take to get this country there?
So President Tinubu's priority is food security. So first and foremost, we have to be able to feed ourselves, and we will be creating lots of jobs as we work towards expanding on agriculture. So it's agriculture, it's manufacturing, expanding our manufacturing base, because I am a believer and a subscriber to import substitution. The terms of trade have to be right for the markets in Africa to integrate. And of course, with manufacturing, you have a longer or wider value chain. So packaging, not just producing the finished goods. And of course, as countries move out of poverty and become more gentrified, the demand is not on exporting raw materials and agricultural commodities. It's on finished goods. So we want to be part of that. And then, of course, infrastructure. In constructing infrastructure, you are immediately creating jobs, which would provide those linkages.